This week, for a change, my husband and I are taking low-cost carrier Ryanair from East Midlands Airport to Berlin Brandenburg for the absolute bargain of just £31 per person each way. Will our hand luggage fit in Ryanair's box of shame? Do we become millionaires on board? And I ask the question, is Ryanair really that bad in 2025?
Very good afternoon from East Midlands Airport. Today I'm flying low-cost carrier Ryanair over to Berlin for £31, and it seemed such a steal that I thought it was only fair and right to do a bit of a flight review and show you what Ryanair offer their customers in 2025. So I've gone for the smallest fare, no bells, no whistles, no seat selection, no hold luggage. This really is the very bare basic fare. So without further ado, let's get inside and start this very short journey over to Berlin. We got dropped off with an Uber today, and I was shocked to see that East Midlands Airport charged £5 per rapid drop-off, with each additional minute costing a further £1 after 15 minutes. This is astronomical and even more expensive than Heathrow. What is going on? Anyway, this airport does bring back fond memories from being a child, as this was and still is the closest airport to where we live. And just like Manchester Airport, where I visited to fly with Ethiopian Airlines down to Geneva, East Midlands are also in the midst of some building and renovation work. I can't deny that it really does show that at least Manchester Airport Group are putting some money back into the airport. It must be from all these £5 drop-offs they're charging. Now, East Midlands Airport hasn't really changed inside from when I was a kid. I remember waving goodbye to my grandparents as they flew to Amsterdam with KLM, but now the airport primarily serves low-cost and charter airlines like TUI, Jet2 and Ryanair, as well as being a major cargo hub, the second biggest in the UK. Little did I know, years later I'd returned to East Midlands Airport to start my first career in the clouds as a member of cabin crew for the then Thomson Airways. I flew for 2 very happy seasons out of East Midlands Airport and made some lifelong friends, so this airport really does have an air of nostalgia about it for me. Anyway, we headed for security, which was absolutely dead. Not the East Midlands Airport we both remembered, and we were through and out the other side in under 3 minutes. As we came out the other side of security and made it through the myriad of duty-free, why is it they're never in a straight line? I'm sure there's some psychology to it. Anyhow, a lot had changed in departures at East Midlands Airport because they've put a lot of shops and eateries in the last few years, which is really good to see. There's even a clothes shop with sales items, a rarity for airports, and my husband spotted a shirt that he'd wanted. Why not push the Ryanair hand luggage limits to the very edge, just for fun? Then came the moment of truth, the dreaded Ryanair box of shame. Would our hand luggage fit? Well, that's €140 saved at least. With around an hour to go before boarding, we decided to check out the Escape Lounge here in the terminal. It's included with our Priority Pass membership through our American Express Platinum card. There's an open bar, soft drinks machine, fresh juices and still and sparkling filtered water. There's also a coffee machine with monine syrups and a selection of teas from Twinings. The food on offer was certainly comfort in style: minced beef and onion pies, gravy, mushy peas and mashed potatoes. Yeah, I'm in. There was also a vegetable tagine with chickpeas and a selection of snacks including crackers and cheese, salads, bread rolls with butter, and for dessert, donuts, fresh fruit including watermelon, and 2 types of muffins. Then it was time to board, but here's my first gripe with Ryanair. Why is the gate announced so close to the boarding cut-off time? For this flight, boarding was set to close at 17:30, yet the gate wasn't announced until 17:15, and that's with a 10-minute walk to get there. What happens if you're disabled or just need extra time? Is this a one-off or something that Ryanair does regularly? Let me know in the comments below.
After waiting for cabin crew to arrive after being called out of standby, we finally boarded the aircraft. This Boeing 737 MAX 8 is in a 3-3 seating configuration, and our seats for today are 12A and 12B. Now 12A is advertised as having a window, which as you can see is a bit cheeky in my opinion. Sadly, the footwell area was covered in the remnants of a Pringles tube, and there was a stuffed tissue and some Frutella wrappers, not to mention some chewing gum on the back of the seat in front. The legroom, however, was very good and far exceeded our expectations. We have no complaints in this department at all. I suppose we did have half a window at least, and I'll try my best to film the takeoff today. Separate to this though, Ryanair prints the safety card on the seat back in order to save money, and there's also a drop-down tray table, albeit a little smaller than the usual ones. No scrimping in the panel above your head though, as this aircraft has reading lights and personal air vents, and all ordering through the menu is done by scanning this QR code. This takes you to the menu where you can view the items available. It works off your phone's Bluetooth system, and I'm assuming this just pings across to the sales device for the crew to prepare. Quite a good system this, and we'll put this to the test later on. So they turned up, the aircraft boarded, and then we literally pushed and departed straight away. So with everything else I was filming, there was no time to do that one. But initial impressions are really, this is miles apart from when I last flew Ryanair, which was a very, very short flight from Dublin back to East Midlands when I saw a Coldplay concert last year. And it was very, very, very bad. Dated aircraft, dated cabin, crazy short leg room. I mean, I know myself and my husband are tall, but it was really, really tight.
But as you can see on here, the legroom is actually quite good. I'd say it's very, very similar to British Airways, if not on par. So if anything, that's a real bonus. So I've just sent a little device, a little order, sorry, to the cruise device using the Bluetooth function in the Ryanair app. 2 Coca-Cola Zeros and 5 Ryanair scratch cards, because why not? And if I win £1 million, well, let's just say we're seeing even more interesting flights on my channel.
Our order then arrived, and I set the husband the task of making us onboard millionaires. After 5 attempts though, not a sausage, so I guess it's back to the day jobs for us. All joking aside though, Ryanair has partnered with some great charities, so that's really good to see. As we weren't banking €1 million on this trip, or driving away in a brand new car, the husband had to earn his keep, so I sent him off to do the toilet review. He said it was fairly spacious considering his size and relatively clean. I think he had a bit too much fun with the foaming hand soap though.
So, super quick flights, to be fair. We're just on our descent now, top of the descent, coming into Berlin. We've not won €1 million on the scratch cards. How very sad. But a bit of money has gone to charity, so we can't complain. But all in all, I'll be brutally honest with you. Yes, there's a couple of issues with the cleanliness of the aircraft and things, but on the whole, really, Ryanair have quite literally blown me away, and not in a oh my god, it's the best airline in the world kind of sense, but for efficiency and cost, you have to hand it to them. £30, £31 from East Midlands to Berlin is a fantastic price, and you can't really argue with what you get in return for that. And for me, the biggest issue with Ryanair is the leg room. But on this particular flight, it really is knockout. I feel like I've not been cramped in, and I don't necessarily feel like there's no space at all. And there's some legacy carriers in economy that have worse leg room than this. So yeah, pretty impressed. So yeah, as we start our descent into Berlin on this very short on this very short trip report, I hope you've enjoyed a little look around Ryanair. It was one of those videos I was a little unsure about doing, but I'm glad I have, because I think sometimes the glaringly obvious ways to get to a destination can still be interesting, and this same flight today from Heathrow at a similar time as British Airways was in the region of £285 one way, and even on points, burning through Avios for that is completely pointless, pun unintended, when you've got a flight that leaves your local airport, where we live 15 minutes away from East Midlands Airport, and it's £31. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this little tour of Ryanair on this 737 MAX 8. It's been a real pleasure bringing you on the way with us today, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ryanair is delighted to welcome you to Berlin. We do ask that you do remain seated with your seatbelts fastened, so the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off, and the aircraft comes to a complete stop. Please be careful and open overhead lockers in case items have moved on flights and may fall out. For those passengers wishing to smoke, please refrain from doing so until you're well outside the terminal building in a designated smoking area. For further information and accommodation, allocated seating, new routes and car hire, please visit us at Ryanair.com. Finally, on behalf of everyone at Ryanair, I'd like to thank you for choosing to fly with us today. Do hope to see another scheduled flight in the very near future. So once again, thank you and good afternoon.
Now honestly, I have to say, for a low-cost airline, this flight was pretty comfortable. No more cramped or stripped back than what you'd find on some far pricier competitors. As someone who's often steered clear of budget carriers in the past, this flight was a good reminder of just how important low-cost airlines like Ryanair are to the wider aviation industry. They keep travel accessible, routes competitive, and sometimes even pleasantly surprising. Let me know what your experiences have been when you've been flying Ryanair in 2025. Has it changed your opinion too? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, a big thanks for watching. And as the sun sets as we ride on the train into central Berlin, I've been James Warren Oliver, and I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss another upload. Plenty more aviation, travel and hotel content coming your way. See you in the next one.